G'day guys, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to walk you through how to do roofing SEO. And today what we're going to do is just pick a random roofing company somewhere. We'll think about it on the fly and we'll go after them. And essentially we'll look at them and be like, okay, if I own a roofing business, what would I need to do? So whether it's you yourself or perhaps you've just started doing SEO and you want to learn how to SEO a roofing business, this is what you'll need. So what I've got behind me right here, guys, is the roofing SEO checklist. Now, when you're doing roofing SEO, you're going to need to track everything you do, and you also need to assess your competitors. Because at the end of the day, SEO, all it is you need to see what Google is rewarding and just emulate that. Very, very important and very, very simple. Google's showing you what it likes and what it will reward. If someone's looking for a roofing company and you want to be able to rank for that, in that specific SERP, every single SERP's different. You need to be able to look at it and be like, okay, well, in Fort Lauderdale, out my way, okay, in Fort Lauderdale, this is the type of SERP that we're being displayed for roofing and SEO. And it might be different if you jump over and go across to Tampa. So all you need to do is look at the SERP, analyze it, and go through it. How do you do that? You're going to need this free, completely free roofing SEO checklist. It's going to be in the comments down below. Click on it. You can grab this whole list, as you can see here. It's got a ton of stuff in it. This is essentially the smaller version of what we utilize in my agency. So this will be enough for you. This will be more than enough if you're doing roofing SEO. So what we need to do immediately is determine where we're going after. I don't know if there is anyone in here at the moment. If you have a roofing business or anything like that you want me to have a look at, chuck it in the chat. But otherwise, I'll just go over to trusty Google and let's look for a pretty populated area. Let's do roofer. Actually, let's just do roofer near me. Oh, let's do that one. Let's just do that. Let's see what Fort Lauderdale's throwing up. Okay. All right. Same day, Fort Lauderdale roofing repair. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That's what we'll do. Roofer near me. We'll just roll with that, I reckon. Actually, no, we won't, because I want to show you not just maps. So with this sort of stuff, it's not just maps. I'm going to show you how to rank organically and on the maps, because if you're ranking in both locations, wow, very, very powerful. Because not everyone looks at the maps. It only takes around about 44% of the clicks. The rest of those clicks go elsewhere. So let's just do, roofing business. For Lauderdale, let's make that. Let's just do this. We'll grab this one. So I'm just going to grab an absolute random guy, someone that's not doing too well, that should have a profile. Now, when you are doing roofing SEO, you can see this tab right here. I just clicked on it. That's the target keywords tab. So let's just say it's your business. Now, I'm only going after one keyword because this video is going to be an hour and a half long as it is, and I'm just doing one keyword. So if you guys were going to go after something like perhaps like roof repair Fort Lauderdale, that is where you could throw this into here, because essentially everything I show you how to do, you just emulate it, just copy it, duplicate it, and just go boom, 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 boom for each single keyword, because that's what you want to do. So you click on the tabs, keywords, throw it in there. That's the first roofing keyword that we're going after. So let's come back over to the SERP and let's see, just have a brief look of what's going on. Now, I like to start in the maps with these, just because then that way I could look as an example on the SERP, and then unfortunately they're not even ranking in the map packs, and it's like, well, you know, and normally if you're not ranking well in the map packs, it's because you're mainly reviews, your profile is just not up to par. Like it's, yeah. Now, as you can see, Google has, like, I'm down right basically in the center of Fort Lauderdale, as you can see here. Now, I don't want to grab one of these guys over here and be like, this is right, they're ranking so poorly. It's obvious, because it's proximity that Google does reward. So I want to try and find one of these guys that's maybe in the cluster closest to me, and see why they're not doing too well. Because, like, what's add, yeah, up there. Yeah, so it's just proximity. Ooh, not proximity. He's not there from proximity. There you go. He's ranking like number one is definitely proximity. He's just closest to me. So if this was your business, like you can immediately ascertain, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter about proximity for that guy. So proximity is not, definitely not, because number 3 is all the way up there. It's an important note. And this is sort of stuff you want to start noticing, is like when you're doing any type of, whether it is roofing SEO, any type of roof repair, anything, any keyword you're going after, start to look at the SERP and see, okay, well, this one is closer in and, it's in position 4. So let's try and find one of those businesses that's like near me, right near me, near my blue dot. Yeah, this guy, this is us. Yeah. Like, why is he halfway down the page? Why he's right now, like I'm right on top of him. I could basically open the window and give him a shout out and he should answer the door. So let's have a look. So flat roofing provider, let's have a look. So, okay, must find the categories. Wow, GMB. What's going on there, guys? Changed around a little bit today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to grab just their name. Let me grab their name for the time being. So on your SEO checklist for your roofing SEO, you'll need to put all the details in up the top. Literally like what I'm doing now. So let's put in the name, If it's your business, you don't need to do this. But the main things that you do need to do is start actually looking at the company. So let's go back over here. Let's grab their website. Let's copy the link. Website, domain, there it is. Throw that in there. Okay. Now that we've had a look at that, we've picked our target keyword. Okay. We've determined who our donor is going to be, who the one that we're going to assess, the roofing company that we're going to assess, why they're ranking specifically for roofing business Fort Lauderdale. That's the keyword that we've decided to go after. You can use any keyword you want. I'm not saying that this is the best keyword. I'm not saying that this is the only keyword. But if I had a client come to me and say, I don't care about anything else, I want to rank for this because I know over the 15 years I've been in business, this is what people type into Google. Well, if that's what the data and the client says, then you marry those two up. So just FYI for this keyword, guys, because I have had people come and go, I've looked it up in the SERP and there were other higher ranking keywords that you could have gone after. And it's like, it's just an example. It is just an example for you to do roofing SEO. So what we do from here, we want to do a quick audit of the domain. Okay, so we want to have a look, see how strong our profile is, see how strong the website is. So we want to make sure that this roofing company has a strong website, because if it doesn't have a strong website, that's going to cause a lot of problems. 21 backlinks, authority score of 8. Does authority score matter? No, it's just something that you want to look at and be cautious of. So let's just say you're having a look at that, you see 8, and then you start having a look at your competitors and you notice that everyone's 25. You don't need to sit there and pull your hair out and be like, hey, I'm only 8. I need to get this number up. No, it's not that. It's just something to be aware of. So we have an authority score of 8. We have 21 backlinks and we're ranking for one keyword. This looks like a pretty straightforward case, in all honesty, guys. This is the only problem with one, picking out people live and doing live streams. And sometimes you get like, I don't know if this guy's a little bit too easy. And I don't want to make it too easy, because if I make it too easy, that's not really educational for you. And that's my main concern. I want to show you how you go about ranking a roofing business. And it's like, obviously, that's why this guy's not ranking. Commercial roofing. Let me have a look at this guy. Looks like he's been around a lot longer. Might be worth having a look. Let me just see what that roofing contractor. There it is. Let's go after that. So he's kind of close. And as we saw before, the top rankers were actually further away. So that's why I'm going to grab this guy just for that case. And it's more educational for you. It's quite obvious to look at that other one and be like, hey, he's not ranking for anything. He just needs to get more content on there, more structure. Like, it's very simplistic. I don't want this to be simplistic. I want to show you how you could rank your roofing business. So I'm going to change it across to this guy here. Just because he's got one category, he should be ranking well for this. Yeah, and he's not. So let me just change this out, guys, because I want to make sure that you do not have a not so good experience with this. Let's grab that. throw this back in here. Just paste that in there. Okay, they've even got the UTM going. I just want that. All right, so same thing. Let's throw this bad boy in here. Get rid of that UTM. Away. Okay. All right, let's see how they're going. So I assume their authority score is going to be a bit higher. And this is a better example because they're like a lot of reviews, you know, been around a few years, but just performing terribly. Yeah, ranking further down than that other guy that had 7 reviews. So 17,236. So you come back over to your roofing SEO checklist. So let's go down here. It was 17 and total backlinks was 236 and total keywords. So let's have a look at that. 2,207. So let's check that out. 2,207. So we throw that in there. Total citations we'll come to later, so we need to look at that later. It's quite important in local SEO that you do have citations. I'm a massive advocate for them. So that's basically where you start. First thing you do is you go out there, you review your business, where it is, have a look at your domain. Just a quick overview. We don't need to do anything crazy there. So what you can do is come right in here and basically be like, okay, that's done. What do I need to do from here? So we've done that. Now we want to have a look at the actual keywords that we're being rewarded by for Google, and we utilize SEMrush to identify that. So as you saw the 2,200, what you want to do is keyword research tab, click on that bad boy. Now you come back over to SEMrush, okay, click on view details, and then we export this data. All right. Come on. I'm just going to do first, like as you can see, it's quite slow. So I don't really like, when it starts being slow on SEMrush, I start getting nervous. Like it's SEMrush, it should be flying along. So I don't know, last few times when I streamed, unfortunately, I've lost streams a couple of times, so I don't know what's going on there, especially when I have like ridiculously good internet here. So just first world problems, I guess. Let's grab that. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting in all of the keywords that we're currently ranking for now. And the reason for this is because I want to ascertain what exactly is going on with all of these keywords, because you would export the full amount. So before, how you saw when it was, you know, like 2,200 keywords, you would export that full amount out. One, I'm not going to do it. 2 reasons. You're seeing how slow this is running and it's actually making me a little bit nervous, so we're not going to do that. But the reason you do this is you want to start to see, and you want to have all the data in one place. You want to know when you start, how it looks, and how it finishes. So as an example, we've got all of these. It's only 500. I only exported 500 just so it wasn't too big a load. But you can see that all of these keywords we're ranking for and in what position. So that's what's quite good. We can start to see that. So that's what you need to do from there. Now, once you've done that, all you need to do, and it's entirely up to you if you do this, you can go through and you can start to click things off. Okay, so if you're like, okay, I've had a look at this, I've reviewed my roofing keywords that I'm ranking for. Now what we want to do is go across and audit the Google Business Profile. Okay, now for the Google Business Profile, when you're assessing that, what you want to do is you want to jump over to the tab down here. So just this bad boy right here, jump onto that. And from here, what we're going to do is going to review a couple of the competitors. Now, a couple of caveats before we really jump into this. I'm only going to look at 2 people, again, because it will take too long. If you're in a competitive niche like roofing, you probably should be looking along the lines of at least 3 competitors, okay? This column down here, this row down here, what this is this is the median. So as we start to input data points in there, what's going to happen is it's calculating the median. I personally think the median is a more reliable statistical number, because in this stuff you're going to see before, like we had that one person that had 7 reviews, and then we've got the other ones up the top that have hundreds of reviews. Where's the middle? Because I believe, and I know from actually seeing this stuff work, that when you are at least doing better than the middle amount, you're okay. You will start to see positive results. And at the end of the day, you're trying to get up to the top. And then when you get further and further up the top, if these guys that are ranking poorly just implemented this stuff for this keyword, they would be doing a lot better, a lot better. So what we want to do is we want to scroll all the way back up to the top, and not the ads. Don't want to grab the ads because that's not real. Okay, so as you can see, like this guy is right where, you know, pretty close to us. So as an example, like it's quite good to look at. Now I like grabbing the names first, just in case anything happens. So copy, come back over, competitor, throw that into here. So that one there, let's go back, same thing. So Planet Roof, and we got Nust Roofing Co. Okay, let's grab that. Okay, so you just throw the names in there. You can just shrink it down a bit so it's not massive. Make it a bit smaller, bold it for you guys. Okay, now the reason I do that is because, let me show you why. Let me give you an example why. Oh, please don't freeze on me, God. Come on, Google. So if I zoom out, which I'm trying to do now, yeah, there we go. It can change the rankings around. I don't want it to do that. I want to know when I type in my keyword, what does Google naturally show? Because you don't want to be zoomed all the way out and then base your rankings off that. That's not how people search. They don't sit there and type something and then zoom all the way out and they'll be like, hey, I'm ranking number 1. No, don't do that. Do what Google shows you. That's the most natural thing. So do apply that principle. And let's come back. Oh, look at that. How is Nasty's running ads as well? I wonder if that's maybe why they're up the top. Probably shouldn't be using them then. Oh, look at that. That's a bit cheeky. So they are ranking ad-wise and organically. I wonder if they're sending some traffic through. Advanced, are they? No, we're going to have to drop. In this situation, again, another great situation. Like, this is what happens live, guys. This is what happens. This is why I like lives, because it actually shows you what it's really like. It's not all this smooth stuff that you always see on YouTube. Do you do this and everything is flawless in SEO? No, it's not how it works. So as you can see, these guys are running ads, but they're doing well organically. What do? Would I rely off their data points? Probably not. I'd still analyze it and think it's important, but you can do some creative things with local map pack ads, and that could be why they're up there. So I wouldn't. I'm going to delete them from the consideration, and I'm going to grab these Advanced Roofing Inc. because they're far away too. They're very far away from me. So I'm actually going to change it and grab these guys. So same thing. And that's the thing. Like, this is literally, you know, some people ask, it's like, oh, why does SEO charge so much? Because it's all it is. If you, honestly, if you do your research appropriately at the start, you'll fly through. So next thing, what we want to do is grab the categories. Okay, so where was our main guy? Where'd you go? Planet. There you are. So we'll grab Planet. So start back here. What we want to do. So over here, so the 2 extensions I'm going to use for the map pack, this thing's called Plepper, just behind my head here. Plepper, free Chrome extension, and this thing is GMB everywhere. Now this thing I think is 3 to 5 searches or something like that every month. So yeah, it's not too bad, but we're going to start with Plepper. So first thing we want to do is grab the categories. So roofing contractor is the main one for this guy. And just in categories, throw 1, okay? Because there's only 1. What's the average rating and the total reviews? Average rating, so you can see all this stuff here. So average rating is 4.8 and 194. 4.8 194. Oop, there we go. Total posts, we'll come back to that, okay? But total images, we want to know that, definitely. Very important. Image count, same thing, guys. Like it's right behind me here on Plepper. So you can see 277 images. So that means you've got 277 images on their Google Business Profile. Q&As. What have those bad boys got for that? Let's have a look. No, nothing. Zilch. Okay. 0. Now, products and services. As you can see, Google, like if you watch my latest video from 2 weeks ago, you know, the SERP has obviously changed a little bit with local maps, and Google is going through massive changes right now. Even I'm sure you've noticed YouTube is looking different. So Google's obviously rolling out a lot of changes and a lot of different things. So you want to make sure when you're having a look at this that you can see that you've got products here, okay? You can see this stuff down here. But services, I cannot see anymore. Yeah, so normally what I do is like I change it up so I can see it off the desktop, but for the purpose of this video, I'd destroy the stream if I do that. Let me just check. Yeah, no, she's still not there. Okay, so what you can do, first thing, let's look at all the products. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not really a product, is it? That's interesting. Why have they put that in there? COVID-19 update. And Google doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just go roll with those. Not going to count in that other COVID thing. That might actually be Google doing that. I have not seen that before. So now the services. So we're going to have to send it to my phone for this. So let's go back over here. Scroll up, where are you? Send to phone. So I'm just sending it to the phone because it's the main way that I can see this. Let me grab this. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but all right, let's have a look. Let's check out what they've got going on. So yeah, you just want to have, the main thing is you want to see. So a couple of things here. Again, you might not be able to see it, and it's an absolute bummer that you can't. But you can see, I give this thing focus. You can see a bit of text, all right? So you can see that, as an example, they've got roof inspection as a service, but then they've also written a ton, like a description about that service. You need to see all of that, monitor all of that, and see what your competitors are doing, because you need to emulate that, because Google's rewarding it, okay? Google's clearly rewarding it. So you want to see what else they've got going on. So let me count up all their services. Damn, that's a lot. Whoa. I'm going to say at least 45. I'm just guesstimating, guys, so you don't sit there and watch me count. That'd just be interesting. So I'm just going to guesstimate it's around about 45. It's probably more, but that's what it is. So have a look there. Next thing, the total post and the post frequency. Very, very, very important. Okay. Still find it, you know, like it used to be really relevant, but sort of noticing a little bit now that it is dropping off a little bit. Google has started to reward businesses with not so much activity on their posts, but early days used to be a great way of winning some rankings. Like just some good posts, consistency, showing that for a couple of months in Google, Google will start to trust you. Oh, don't make me do this again. Come on. Should be good to go now, I think. I think every now and then you're going to have to log in and log out. There we go. Should be okay. It's a pretty good tool. GMB everywhere. Like I've had people ask me about it, and like, would you pay for it? Like we do. I think we bought the year thing, but like it's all right. It's great for seeing this in a nutshell. It's great for looking at like scraping out essentially the most common phrases from the reviews, and it's great for knowing this. So like, look at this, guys. Like, look, you can immediately ascertain, okay, where did they hire an SEO agency? Where? So bang. Okay, there we go. So what you want to do is, this thing unfortunately now maxes out at 30. So you want to have that 30, but you can start to look now. This is a great example because it's not just consistent. Like, I could sit here and be like, oh, well, you put a post up every month. No. They've obviously hired an SEO agency right here. And as you can see, I would be paying more attention to this than I would to anything else, because who cares about this stuff back here, right? You know, this stuff in 2018, why sort of equate that into the total number? I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be starting to look back at the end of the year, last year, and sort of going, okay, well, no, that was December, January. Like, this is almost 3 posts. Yeah, that was smashing it out. Okay. April. Okay. So maybe over this year, how many, let's remove this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so let's remove 7 from the total 30, which means there was 23. So let's say the 23 over the last, let's say just 12 months. Let's say, yeah, 10 months. So realistically, they're putting up 2 every month-ish around there, last 10 months. That's what I'm going to say. Now, when it comes to total post, let's just have a look. 27. And post frequency, I would be saying every 22. No, to be every, probably, how many would probably be 20 days would be about right, I think. Yeah, about 20 days. It looks like it's about every 20 days, every 15 days. Let me close this, because this is where I'd be paying the most amount of attention to. I would be ignoring, like I said, like, don't count this in your numbers. Be relevant, be what's going on now. So throw that in, work out that number of what it is, and then you can have, okay, well, it's roughly around about, like I said, it's 23 posts over the last sort of 10 months. So it's 2 posts every, yeah, it's around about 20. I would say maybe probably more so 15-ish, 12. Let's say 15. So 15, every 15 days, they're posting once. So that's what you want to do. Let's just go back and have a look at advanced roof. So same thing, literally the exact same thing. All right, so let's grab them. So let's look at their categories. Let's start to see what's being rewarded by Google. Because if you notice, like as an example, maybe you're a roofing contractor and you're trying to rank for roofing contractor, but you've got this solar energy company. Maybe you've made that simple mistake. That's why it's vitally important to, when you are doing roofing SEO, just have a look. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at the simplicity of itemizing, fixing things up, how much it will actually help your roofing business. So average reviews, total ratings. So 104, 4.5. 5 and 104. Okay. Bring that over. Total images. Let's check that bad boy out. Images. Okay, not picking up any images, which is strange. Like I said, guys, unfortunately with these latest updates, this is what's going to happen. You can see that there's images, and it even says 226 plus photos, but Plepper's not picking it up. So I'll move my head and you can see. Now this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Your tools will sometimes let you down. You do sometimes need to do it, not necessarily manually, but close enough to that. So I'd be saying 226. That's what it looks like here, as you can see right here. So 226 Q&As. What do we got? 2 question and answers. Now, if you notice that you're the top ranking roofing contractor actually has some Q&As, you want to do the same thing. You want to go in there, check that out, see what's going on. Okay, so 2. Products and services. Okay, so I don't think they have any products. Nope. It doesn't look like they have any products. I am going to send it to my phone though, because you just want to check. Honestly, again, it hasn't been showing up sometimes in Google, even with the products, but then you throw it across into your phone, bang, there it is. So when you are doing roofing SEO, make sure that you have a look and you actually review it on your phone, because you'll notice, unless you're looking at it through a mobile device, so to speak, you'll notice these types of funny things. So look, let's just see if they've got any products or anything like that. Okay. So they have a lot less services, which is excellent. Probably around about 30, 35-ish, something like that, at least. They have less descriptions, so that's something to take note of. So didn't see any products. Did see at least this many services. Same thing, they're doing posts as well, so we want to run a check on their posts. Let's see what's going on there. Let's audit their posts, see the frequency, see everything else like that. Sick. Sometimes you'll notice that happens too, guys. Like, you'll know that there's posts on there. You could see the posts that are on there. Sometimes the GMB everywhere will just do this to you. So that's just how it is. Sometimes what I find is actually having the tab open like I've done here, it'll just run it again and it should be okay. So that's a little bit of an FYI, especially if you only have like 5 tests. So let's have a look. Let's go back to 20. As you can see, there's a huge span from July 15, August, all the way through to March 2020. So these types of gaps, you want to start to see, honestly, SEO is about identifying patterns and seeing what else is working and what's not working. So you want to have a look at that type of stuff. You want to see how long they've basically gone on a sabbatical from posting. So check that out. Have a look at that. But if we scroll down, we'll start to see, okay, this is every 35 days they're posting. Total 30 posts. Both of them maxed out at that. So same thing. You can just come in here and put 30, but you know how many posts you need. You know that you need more than 30 in both situations. Your main thing is your frequency over here, okay? So that's what you need to do. So when you are doing roofing SEO, make sure that you have a look at that and throw it in over there. Now what we need to do is actually review our business profile. So the way that you go about that is doing essentially what we've done, but we look at ourselves. So let's grab, I think it was, what was it? Carrios Roofing. Cool bananas. Let's grab them. I'm just going to close down a couple of tabs and we can have a look. So let's go all the way back down. Here we are. Now, what I do want us to do is simply go across to this thing here. Now, this thing here is Local Falcon. Now, what Local Falcon allows you to do is actually look with a geo map. Perhaps you're familiar with it, perhaps you're not, but as an example, let's do this right now. So, Carrios. Let me just grab this, throw that, no. Grab the name. Okay, let's throw this in here. Search. Business name. Roofing. So yeah, this is Local Falcon, great tool. I'll show you where you can access this after we come back here. Beautiful, I'll pick this up. So yeah, every tool that I talk about today, guys, everything that I mentioned today, there's a link right here. So whenever you're doing roofing SEO, all of the tools and everything that you need to get the needle moving is actually here. So just simply jump over here and check it all out. So, one sec. All right. So let's grab the target keyword because that's obviously what we're analyzing. So let's grab this, throw this in here. Now, as you can see, all of these little dots, right? This is like a geo grid. So basically, let me run the scan. And what this means is it will depict an area. So each little thing is going to be a depiction of, let's just say I was standing there with a mobile phone. I had my laptop out, whatever it was. You're in the office building located right here. Whatever the number that is depicted, that is where we're ranking in that location. If someone was to Google our target keyword. So if they were looking for a roofing contractor, that's what could be shown out here. So should pop up in a moment. Like normally it's this is quite quick. And I do recommend local Falcon. I normally use local Viking just because of the mass volume, guys, to be completely honest. Like it's local Viking is very, very good. And that's where I have all of my client stuff, everything on that. We do use Bright Local for our citations, but this is awesome for this stuff, like showing videos, demonstrating to clients. I don't want other clients to see my other clients' stuff. I only want them to be able to display this. And this actually gives really nice reports as well. So I do recommend local Falcon. It's very cheap too, like very, very cheap. Don't get Bright Local if you're going to be running like a couple of tests. It's just ridiculously expensive. So yeah, as you can start to see here, so if someone jumps off the plane and their missus calls them and says, "Hey, honey, the roof's leaking," well, old mate's just gotten off the plane. He's just typed in roofing business near me as an example for Lauderdale. Well, in this area here, you're number 5. So maybe you'll get the call from the executive. You know, who knows? Who knows? But perhaps if he ducks over here to the rustic inn, then yeah, he'll give you a bell. But as you can see, this is what it means. Now you can get these smaller, larger. It's quite cool. So you can do whatever you want here. But mainly what I would be thinking right now is this is not too bad. It's not amazing, but it's not too bad. They've got a little bit of work to do. So, all right, wait for this one. But, you know, mainly I want to see this. This should be okay, relatively okay. But let's just jump back. So it's all right. I'd say it's okay. So, you know, when you have a review, you'd look at it and be like, okay, it's all right. So I would say that this is okay. It's not too bad. If you see red, it's not great. Now, same thing, guys, categories and how many of them are there. So let's do this right now. Let me get it loaded, still not loaded. All right, roofing contractor, one of them. Beautiful, good work, it's looking pretty good. So we've got one, paste the contractor over there. Average reviews, total reviews. So 166, 4.9. Okay, this is interesting. Why is he performing so poorly? This is actually a really good case study. Why is he doing so bad when he's pretty much aligned with most of the stuff? Q&As, let's have a look. One Q&A. Total images. Yeah, grab that. 287. So let me just move my head. So he's doing well. Why is he doing so poorly? Could have been doing well. Maybe he's been hit with a negative SEO campaign and the other guys wanted to push him out. Maybe. I don't know. People always say that that doesn't happen a lot, but I'm telling you here it now. It's actually, I personally believe that's happening a lot more now. Just sending like spoofy traffic to things. So now we want to look at the products and services because they've got products going on. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. You got 8. And let's have a look on the phone to see how many services we have. Let's check this out. Send that across. All right. So same thing. You're just having a look at your phone, checking it out. seeing what's going on. Looks legit, looks real good actually. Oh, they don't have many services. They don't have many services. There you go. What, 20-ish? Maybe. Maybe. Is that why they're doing so poorly? See, these are all the little things. These are all the little things that you have to sit there and look, because you'll be sitting there going, what? Like, I've got all of this going for me. Why has Joe Blogs up there and I'm not? What's going on? This is where this roofing SEO checklist comes in super handy. All right, so posts and post frequency. So look, I don't think they're, no, they were. Okay. Post audit, let's check it out. Like I was saying, you have to have the tab open. I don't know why. I wrote to them about this because it's, you know, like, especially if you yourself, you just want to have a free audit and you don't want to pay for it, like, then, yeah, it's costing you audits and it's not really fair to you. I don't know how many my agency has. We do what we need to do. All right. Yep. Consistent. All right. Beautiful. They are across it. So they're SEOing now. They're SEOing. Okay. So 30 and every 8 days are we posting too often. That does happen. Like, funnily enough, like, it actually, that's why I started refining back, because I started to notice, I started getting whacked for it. Total post 30. Let's just put it there. No. And now once you've done this, now you want to jump across and have a look and see what the competitors are doing. So how many categories do I have? I have one. They both have roofing contractor. Okay, tick, move on. We've got to look at the average rating. So the median of the average rating and the total reviews. I've got to have at least 149 reviews, and I need to have at least a 4.65 rating. What do I have? I'm doing better than that. What's going on? Next thing, keep moving on. Total posts. Okay, I need to have at least that. Yes, I'm doing that. Okay, next thing, moving on. Total images. I need to have at least 250. How many images do I have? I have 287. What's going on? Next thing. So let's scroll across. Q&As. I need to have at least one. How many Q&As? I have one. Next thing. Okay, products and services. I should have around about 4 and 40. Okay, so I've got at least 4. I've got 8, and then, I have 20. And I'm telling you, like, that should actually be higher. And this is something that could be wrong. This is the first thing that I would be looking at and be like, okay, this is where we're different. This is where we're not aligned with the competition. So if I'm doing roofing SEO, that is the first thing that I'd be looking at doing. I'd be going after that. So I'd be bumping that up. Okay, so post frequency, need to do it every 25 days, which I'm doing. You know, so everything looks aligned there. The main thing that I'd be looking at for this roofing contractor is I would be looking at bumping up those services, because in the eyes of Google, that's probably something that's being rewarded. The other thing that I'll give you, a bit of free advice and a bit of a tip, scrape, utilizing GMB everywhere, scrape the reviews of your competitors and yourself, and start to see what keywords are pulled out of those reviews and what you're looking at and what Google's seeing, because you want to start to see, hey, in their reviews, it always says roofing contractor. But in yours, it says, you know, repairman, handyman, maintenance guy, all this sort of stuff. Well, there you go. Google will look at reviews because they look at it independently. If you think about it, it makes sense, because I have complete control over this asset, right? I can say whatever I want on the Google Business Profile. But then if that's solidified by everyone else saying, hey, awesome roofing contractor, amazing roofing contractor, awesome, just brilliant, excellent, great job, all of this, well, that's outside input. Google has to take that into account. So that's why I would be paying close attention to that, guys, like very, very close attention to that. So that's what you want to do there. Now, once we've done that, you come back over to the checklist and we tick all of this off. Now, from here, we need to have a look. So we want to really have a look at our top 3 competitors. So again, I'm going to have a look at the top 2, but you also want to have a look who's ranking organically, okay? Because I'm not just trying to teach you to rank on the map pack, and there is a very strong correlation between ranking well on the maps and ranking well in the organic SERP, okay? Now, do I want to look at Angie and take, a bit of advice from there? No, not really. Same thing with Yelp. No, not really. I'd want to come down and start to have a look at an actual business. So like when you see the BP and you've got all of this noise up the top, it's not hard to push them out. Google has been, look, it has been a little bit interesting because Google has started to reward these companies. It never really used to. Like if you used to see, honestly, I used to get happy. Client comes in, I want to rank for this keyword. You throw it into Google and you start to see all the directories. You're like, yes. But unfortunately, that's it is getting a little bit harder. So it can be a little bit challenging. But you do want to scroll down, like for instance, this one, Tiger Team Roofing. Okay. I'd be having a look at them. I'd be checking that one out. Gaff. So roofers near me, like look at how far down an actual business is. This is insane. Like why are they not capitalizing on this? Oh, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Like they're not performing well at all. It's really, really poor stuff. Not a lot really going on. But let's grab that. So when you're doing this, you want to come across. Now you see competitors down here. You want to throw their domain in there. Now, the reason I'm not grabbing the directories is because you're looking at something that's not really relevant. You're looking at something that it's not actual data that you want to pull from the SERP. You want to look at your competitors directly. Unless you're going to create a page like Yelp stuff, then yeah, but you're not. You're going to try and rank your business. So let's have a look. Let's go have a look at these guys. No, 3 best. See another like basically directory. And close that down. Fascinating. Yeah, so this was Paul. What's this? That's Tiger Team. And then Paul. Now, you got to think about it like this. Is it worth grabbing, like these guys are all the way down the bottom of page 1, right? Is it worth grabbing them and having a look? And then, in this situation, what's the best thing to do? Well, there's a couple of things. If Google really is sticking to its guns when it comes to the directories, you need to think, how can I beat this? What can I do more? Is it because there's just like, this is a low search volume keyword? Sometimes that's what happens because no one really structures their content around something that's a low volume keyword. Okay, so that can be sometimes the reasons why the directories will win the day. Okay, but ultimately, what I would be considering is when you type this keyword in, still grabbing the actual businesses that are being rewarded for the keyword you're going after. Because remember, everyone's going to have different keywords. Like roofing contractor near me is obviously the main keyword, but I don't want to show you just because that's every other YouTube video on there. It's the main one. It's a 15-minute long video. No, I want to show you all different types of keywords, how you could go about it, apply different principles, because this is a lot more challenging. If the other stuff's just laid there in front, anyone can show you how to do that. That's why there's thousands of videos out there on it. But this is why you want to have a look at the more difficult situations and be like, okay, why are they being rewarded? What is it? So same thing, grab them, throw domain in here. Sorry guys, a bit yawny today. Okay, so I want to grab the name, the actual name, the official name. 2 reasons. I need that for my citations, for the free way of doing citations. Let me grab this, throw this in here. Tiger Team Roofing. Okay, cool bananas. Your team roofing. You will need their official name if you want to have a look at that stuff later on. Now, what you need to do, like at the citations later on. So what we need to do is I'm going to close this stuff down. Going to get rid of all of the noise just in case, because I hate hindering good old Google. So first thing, I want to have a look at their total pages. I want to have a look at the backlinks and the keywords. So reason for this being, it's not going to really be relevant with this type of result. I wouldn't be placing too much emphasis on it. If I was going after roofing contractor, then I would be. I don't know why SERPquake's not working. I thought just closing those down would have made it work. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's literally like opening and then closing. It's just like vanishing. I'll have to like quickly see it. Quickly see the results. How many I'm looking right here, okay? You'll see a number here, 69. Boom, it's gone. That's what I need from SEO Quake Bar. That's all I need. So 69 pages. Why is that important? Because I want to know if it's a big website I'm going up against. If I'm going up against a big roofing company, it's going to be a harder keyword to win. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. If you've got a website that has, 30 pages and it's ranking for that like quite competitive keyword, and you have a bigger website and you just need to SEO it, it's been around same amount of time, you're sitting pretty. That'll be happy days. So what we want to do now, I'm going to come over here, let's bring it back. Throw this into SEMrush and see what we have. Authority score 21, 1,000 backlinks. Okay. So authority score 1,000 and total keywords 456. Okay. So 456. Check that out. Now what we want to do, same thing for this guy. Okay. Let's see if SEO Quake's actually now working. Come on. 38. Okay, 38 pages. So basically and this is what you would want to do, especially as it gets more competitive. So again, if we were going after roofing contractor near me, you want to start to see, okay, how big are the sites that are ranking for that keyword? It tells you. Now, obviously, there's a lot of pages. So I'm just looking at the Google index, but that's what matters to me. I don't care about the pages that Google doesn't reward. To be honest, like why, if Google's not even going to index it, how much time are you wasting creating that article? So that's why I only look at really the Google index. So there's no point in throwing this guy in the screaming frog and actually counting exactly how many pages there are. It's just pointless. So same thing, scroll back up. So I believe, I can't remember what the second guy was. I think it was a bit high, wasn't it? It wasn't 8. The first guy we tried was 8. But 2,200 and 426. 426 and 2,200. Okay, so as you can start to see, it's like, okay, well, to have that many pages, it's not too challenging, but to sit there and be like, okay, well, I need this many keywords, like look at the keywords being rewarded, quite consistent. And then same thing with the backlinks, like, yeah, it is quite a bit of a split, but still you're going to need some backlinks. So that's the first thing that I'd be having a look at there. That is definitely something that I'd be analyzing. So once we've got our competitors, brilliant thing that we do now is we go ahead and do a keyword gap analysis. So from here, you'll notice the tab, it's probably just in front of me. Yep, there it is. So keyword gap. Now, what we're going to do with this is essentially what we're doing is we're looking at our competitors to see what keywords they're ranking for. that we're not ranking for and what position they're in for those shared keywords. Very, very important. Couple of reasons why it's important, because when you're doing roofing SEO, you might run out of things to talk about. You can look in and see what they're winning, easier keywords, go away, create a page on it, and you'll be able to rank higher for it and maybe steal some of their traffic. That's a great way of doing it. And it also you can start to compare, okay, it's not just this one target keyword. You'll start to see all other target keywords that perhaps you overlooked. And you're like, oh, that's a great keyword that I should create a page for. Not because you didn't necessarily need inspiration, but it's just something you didn't think about. So that's why a keyword gap analysis is very important. Never overlook a keyword gap. Like a lot of people don't think they're that important. I do. Same with the backlink gap, and we'll get to that later on. So what we need to do is let's go back to our home. Let's grab our guy. Let me clean up this. I just want the root. All right, let's grab that. Throw this bad boy into here. So we have our main. And then when you're on SEMrush, all you'll need to do is hit the keyword gap, okay? So this thing's pulled us up, beautiful, keyword gap. All right, so keyword gap. Then what we want to do is we need our competitors' domains. So grab that. In there, same thing. Okay. And compare. Now, I would strongly suggest if you do have like a stack SERP, definitely throw the other roofing competitors in there. Get them all in. Why not? Chuck them all in. So as you can see, this is basically the information here. We actually have the most amount of keywords, which is interesting. But there are some stuff that's shared, okay? And there's obviously some stuff that we don't have. So that's what you want to look at, because you can start to see roofing Fort Lauderdale, like where, like these guys. So I think that's Tiger. Yeah, it is. And then this is the, come on, Paul. This is Paul's website here. We're in position 14. You know, like we should be doing better than that. For having that many keywords, 2,200 keywords. Roof repair, like again, a major keyword, immediately not doing well for it. So there's just a lot off. We have a lot off on this same thing right here. Look at all of this. All of these top keywords here, we should be going after and trying to do well, but we're only winning this one, South Florida roofing repairs. And we're in position 14. How many leads are we getting from that? Maybe 2? That's the type of thing you want to look at, guys. Like it's all of this type of stuff that you have to be considering. That's why the keyword gap is just so valuable. So what you want to do is hit all. Okay. Now I'm only exporting. I'll export, like as you can see, it's just taking some time. So I'll export just a little bit again. Export 500 again. Export that. So you export all of the data, and then same thing, you put it in the sheet. Now you can obviously run having this stuff in SEMrush if you want, but again, it's entirely up to you. Let me grab this. Grab all of this information, copy that. What are you doing, Excel? Come on. Oh, this makes me nervous. Yeah, it's this is when I think it was the keyword gap last time where it ruined the stream. Like I've copied and pasted information. I don't want to touch it. I think, yeah, that's, oh, okay. So just beautify this a bit, guys. So as you can see, like it tells you the position. So for roof replacement, we're in position 94, which is like pretty cool because that's obviously, you know, internationally it's quite major, it's doing quite well. So in position 94, you know, but you're not going to get it. Unless someone goes all the way back to the final page, you're not going to get any leads. But yeah, that's what you do. So have a look at the keyword gap. And then the next thing that you do, let me just close down this because I'm trying to keep as much closed as I possibly can, because I do not want this stream to drop again. So from here, once that's done, right, you want to go into the backlink gap analysis. So similar to the keyword gap, we're now doing the backlink gap analysis. So on SEMrush, all you need to do is click on this tab over here, backlink gap, click on that bad boy, and that'll take you over to here. Now, why is a backlink gap analysis if you're doing roofing SEO? Because you need to get into that knowledge graph, right? Google has assigned some algorithm, some number to your competitors, something to your competitors. And that will look at your competitors and be like, okay, if you really are a roofing business, yeah, you talk about it, but what's the opinions of others, which is websites in this case? Well, in this circumstance, you need to have a link from this, and this to be considered a roofing contractor in Fort Lauderdale. And I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised as just seeing how they're performing. Big site, a lot of keywords. I think their backlink profile is a bit out. I personally think that's what it's going to be. I think that they'll be lacking, which is very, like, honestly, if you improve your backlink profile, you will start to notice, you will, I can assure you of that, start to notice positive results in the SERPs, especially if you are emulating your competitors perfectly. So now, a couple of things to focus on in a backlink gap analysis for a roofing business. Now, if you look at this, okay, matches right here, this is the thing we're looking at, 2 out of 3. So a little bit of meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, it is actually bad in this situation, okay? So don't listen to meatloaf right here. The 2 out of 3 is bad. You should be trying to have that where it's 3 out of 3. Now, a couple of things. First thing, backlink versus referring domain. What's the difference? Well, in this situation, as you can see here, they have technically 28 backlinks from super pages, right? Do you need to go out there and get 28 backlinks from super pages? No, but you at least need to get one, which would be classified as one referring domain, okay? So go and build the referring domains. You don't necessarily need to build 28 backlinks from these guys. Do it if you can, but you at least need one, at least, okay? So that's something that you want to be considering, all right? Now, best way to go about looking at the scammier, like spammy, not great, coupon-y sites, send it, create a blog post that you're happy to burn if you need to. Send it all there. I call them burner pages, because if I'm looking at all their competitors and I'm just sitting there going like, these are trash sites, but it's just one after the other in the backlink gap, you're going to have to go get some of them. Some people say, no, you don't have to. You do. You really, really do, especially if they've got a high page authority or website authority or DR or DA, whatever you use. But as you can see, like if they are kind of high, it is worth going out there and getting them regardless. Send it across to the blog page that you're happy to burn. If things go wrong, burn that page and those links will be gone. You don't want to send it into a service page, because let's just say something along the lines like it doesn't work out too well for you. What would happen in that situation then is, if you send it to a service page, you can't really burn a service page. If you do that, that's going to hurt you. It's going to take a lot of time. It's been a lot of time that page has been around. That will impact you. So that's why you would want to make sure that you send it to the blog. You send it to a blog that's meh, then doesn't matter if you have to burn it and start again, okay? And then that way you don't need to do this whole disavow link stuff to Google as well. It's a lot easier to burn a page yourself, break those links, then Google, you can submit it through Search Console as like, stay away from these links. And I would suggest doing that anyway, if you have the time and budget to spend on that client. But that's how I do it. That's the main thing that I do. So that's basically a backlink gap analysis right there. So that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be checking out all of that stuff, okay? Like having a look at all of that. Now, you come back over to here. Can you export it? I'm not going to export this one, guys. To be completely honest, I'm too nervous, and you've seen me export, you know what I'm doing here. So export it, and you can have all of this data. Would I, like if we scroll down, right? Would I be worried about these types of ones? Yay and nay. When it comes to like 1 out of 3, as long as it's over like the page authority, to be completely honest, if it's high page authority, so it's quite good. You know, like the website score or DR, whatever metric you want to use nowadays, there's thousands of them out there. Call it whatever you will. As long as this is quite high and doesn't look too spammy, I'd look at it. Now, what's quite high in my eyes? If it's a 10, but it's from a good website and an easy to get link, I'd go after it. But then if it was maybe a 25 and it looked a little bit spammy and only one of my competitors had it, I'd probably leave it alone. So that's how I would approach it. When it comes to how many competitors you should analyze when you're doing roofing SEO gap link analysis, I'd definitely try to have at least 4, because then that way you can really start to get the impression of what matters in the link graph in the eyes of Google. Because if you're sitting there noticing that you've got 3 other competitors, like there's 4 that you're looking at, you, and then 3 others at least, and you're sitting there being like, wait a minute, these competitors have these links, you've got to go out there and get them, okay? Vitally important to have a look at. Vitally important. So that's what I'd be checking off there. Like this is even freezing now, come on. So that's a backlink gap analysis. So that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be going across, checking out all of that information, checking out all of that stuff. The other thing, so as you can see, we've got review on Google. Now, the tools might sit there and say, hey, you're ranking for 2,200 words. What I would do is I'd have a look at the top rankers that I was ranking for. So if we go back to the keyword gap, you know, where it says that we're doing really well for, I'd grab them, right? And I'd throw them into Google. Why would you do that? Because you want to actually see what the SERP is rewarding for that location, okay? So that's what that means by having a look at Google. So you can tick that bad boy off. Review the core web vitals, okay? Very important. Some people aren't saying that it's that important, but I believe it is, because nowadays I am seeing that when we upgrade a person's hosting or we just improve something, we are noticing drastic increases. So we had not really a client, more so a friend from back home, back in good old Australia, helped them out with their website. So it passed Core Web Vitals. All of a sudden went from page 5 to page 1. No SEO done. Nothing. Absolutely nothing done to their site except the Core Web Vitals like improvement. Just optimizing their site for Core Web Vitals. Page 1 for a couple of keywords. The best they're doing is on page 5, technically page 4. So yeah, the Core Web Vitals really matters nowadays. So to check that, unfortunately, definitely not going to be able to check that now and show you this. But what you want to do is you can come over to here, Google Core Web Vitals, click on this. This will take you across to the page. Be very cautious. It will probably crash your browser. Google's performance tool does not perform. It's atrocious. But yeah, if I do it now, I can guarantee you we're crashing, okay? Now, a couple of things to note. Should you go out there, like we'll charge at least $500 now for Core Web Vital stuff, right? So to upgrade your website, that's for a 15-page website. Do you need to have your Core Web Vitals like SMIC for your roofing business if your competitors don't? No. Now, if your competitors are quite good, so all of the other roofing contractors, their websites are really good, really performing well, then yeah, don't even waste your money on content and all of that. Get your website upgraded first, because the more content and everything you add to the site, the heavier it becomes. Everything else is still there. Build the foundations right, get the page and everything running smoothly, then start to add all the content and the links and everything else on top of it, okay? That's when you would approach it like that. Schema, another vitally important thing. So when it comes to schema, I think schema is going to start playing a bigger role in actually importance when it comes to search engines, because Google stated a couple of months ago they're reading their first 15 megabytes of a page. Why? Because that's a lot of data that they have to store. So they want the answer delivered on a silver platter. And the proof is in the way that Google is doing the featured snippets, is doing all of the different carousels with the videos and images and everything like that. That gives away Google's motive, right? They want to simplify it. So I think schema is going to play even more of a role. Now, what you want to do is when you are performing schema, like checking schema, first thing you would do is obviously run a test on yourself. This is schema.org. It's completely free. Now, to gain access to this, like I just literally did, schema validator, click on that bad boy, take you across this, you throw in your URL, and you start to see what we've got. And beautiful. Look at this. Roofing contractor picked up. Schema's on point. That most likely is going to be okay for this roofing business. Okay, good. Now, you would want to see what your competitors are doing. Okay, so this business it's doing some things right, but they're just still failing, unfortunately. They're not doing well at all. So, like, they're doing a lot, but not the right stuff. Like, they just are missing out on a few of the right things. If they optimized and got into that link graph and did things a bit better, I promise you, they'd be doing well, like actually really well. So, but that's what I'd be looking at. Look at your competitors now. See if you have the same schema that they have. If you do, beautiful, leave it. If you don't, then make sure you go out there and build it. Now, the next thing is citations. Now, do citations impact roofing SEO? Absolutely. Does it affect it compared to if you were to get 10 DR60 backlinks? No, it doesn't have the same weight. But if you look at it in the eyes of Google and you think about it like this, Google will always sit there and look at other sources to be pointing into your site and to be verifying the legitimacy of your roofing business. So where's your Yelp? Where's your Apple Maps? Where's your BBB? All of those types of things, that's what you need to be looking at, okay? So that's how I would definitely be assessing that. Now, you have two options of assessing your citations. You have the paid way, like I was mentioning before. That's with Bright Local, okay? So you can click on this bad boy here. That'll take you across to Bright Local. It is paid, okay? It is paid if you want the in-depth audit. However, you get an in-depth audit. It'll tell you what's going on, what you're missing, what your competitors have. Really good, really, really good. But maybe you don't have that money. Maybe you're just doing a little bit of local SEO. You only want to pay for SEMrush because that's enough. You just want to do it for 1 month and you're just trying to get your roofing business. You're trying to do some basic roofing SEO. Well, this is what you do. So let's go over here. So let's throw this in there. Now, what we need to do is we need to grab our website. Okay. Yeah. And then same thing, so the name. Because this is just a search operator that I have for you in the thing there. Now, how accurate is this? It's hit and miss. Honestly, it's hit and miss. It's the free approach. Like here it is, the Yelp, beautiful. The Facebook, beautiful. That's what you want to be seeing, okay? You want to be seeing that type of stuff. So as you can see, that's right. There's about 72 results. Could that be pulling in another Carios roofing? Absolutely, it could. From anywhere back home, in Australia, as an example, it could be. That's why this approach is, You can use the address as long as you're the only one there, but I like this because you might put in the address one like slightly way different, and that's it. It might be you might put in east instead of E. But generally, businesses call themselves and spell themselves the same way. That's what I find. To be honest, I don't use the free method. I don't. I obviously use the paid method. So when I'm doing anything and looking at any of the potential clients, it's always the paid method. So when we come down here, total citations, let's say 72. 72 a good number of citations? Absolutely it is. So what we want to do now, let's grab Team Tiger. So same thing, pasting that there. Posting this in here. Same thing. So there's Angie, there's Yelp. They got 55. Okay. Does that what does that mean to us? Okay. Is 72 enough? Most likely it's going to be. If you see that number, if you see you're ahead of your competition, you see the same sites, types of citations, that's generally okay. I wouldn't be too stressed about it. So I just come back here and basically tick that off. Now, what I would be doing is having a look. So make sure you got your Google Analytics installed, all of this, like vitally important. But the final thing that I would be suggesting is ensuring that your website is possible for success, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Let me show you. So what you'll find, these guys have it. Excellent. Okay, it looks a bit funky, doesn't it? And this is kind of my point. See this? Like, see how it's a bit all over the shop and funky? That's not very, like, functional like this. That's awesome that they've got a review thing here. That's cool. That should be a call button. Like, I know the sticky call buttons below my browser, like the browser extension. Or maybe it even isn't. See, like, what's that? That's the first thing. You need to think about your traffic, okay? If I was like as an example, have a look at my website, okay? You've got a couple of options. You can either call or you can book. So if someone comes along and wants to book a session with me, as an example, they have that option. They have the option of a free website audit. There's just constant buttons in their face, okay? Constant buttons, local SEO, constant button. I want to know more. I want to know more. There's always buttons there, okay? That's how you want it to be. You don't necessarily want to have this. First of all, this vanishes and it's like you can't sort of click. So I don't know what that'd be like on the mobile version. Let's have a look. Let's inspect it and have a look. Yeah, so it's not even sticky. So first thing, make the number sticky, guys. Very important. When you're a local business, you have to have call and you have to have perhaps a booking. If you weren't too busy, just have call. Don't have a book a time with me, all that sort of stuff. Like, don't do that. If you just want leads coming in the door immediately, you can go grab those jobs and all of that. Do that. But if you're like me, sometimes you can answer the phone. Someone calls me right now, I could maybe answer it, but I can't. And that's the point. You need to figure out what's best for your business. Some people do say, Ronald, I have, like when I work with medical clinics, stuff like that, plastic surgeons, that type of stuff, they say, I don't want to have another receptionist sitting there fielding calls all day. That's cool. Maybe this option is okay because not everyone, you sort of want to guide them away from that option, from calling, but there should be a big CTA button right here. It says book a time with us now. Schedule your roof repair now. Find out when we can get there. That type of stuff. There should be that there because whenever you're doing roofing SEO and anything, you're doing roof repair, roofing contractor SEO, that type of stuff, I get the traffic to your website, but then they're presented with this. What do? What do they do? So that's something to consider. All right. So that's the sort of final thing I'd look at with the website aspects because, yeah, very, very important. Now, from here, what would I do? Another thing that I would pay particular attention to is having a look. Once you've done the backlink gap, keyword gap, main thing is I would come over here to the SEO strategy. So you're not going to probably see it behind me, but in here you can basically say, okay, this is what was wrong and this is what we should do with month one. As an example, I'd be upping the services because we noticed that it was like 20 different, like that's drastically, it'd be even more, trust me, it'd be even more. So that is something that I'd be looking at immediately. And the backlink graph. I think the backlink graph, I'd almost be willing to bet with, call this business owner up, bet with them and say, hey, if you let me add that to your Google Business Profile, the additional services, and you let me go in there and build the backlinks to your site, I would honestly believe that these guys would shoot up a fair bit. I would say they'd be in line with their competitors. So when you're doing roofing SEO, someone like this already has the foundation. It just needs to be finely tuned, okay? So that is something to consider. Whenever you're looking at finalizing a roofing SEO campaign and you're trying to understand, like you're trying to figure out how to do roofing SEO, you always just want to keep it simple. You don't want to overcomplicate it. You don't want to do anything where it's just, there's a lot of gizmos and gazmos out there to just throw too much noise at it. You don't need to do that. Phone rings, can't answer it. So as an example, keep it simple. We've identified where we are missing services. Go after that. Fix that. Review the other reviews. Look into all of that. Build your backlink gap analysis. We don't have it here, but the backlink gap analysis, we identified that we're missing out a lot that our competitors have. They're the ones that are outperforming us and we don't have. Those are the types of things that can definitely boost your profile. So that's roofing SEO. That is how and a complete guide to roofing SEO. If you want a free website audit, guys, all you need to do, jump over to osbornedm.com. You can literally click on the free website audit here, get a free website audit. If you want to book a time with me, you want to sit down, have a chat, you actually want me to go through your roofing SEO business, reach out, more than happy to help. Make sure that you hit the like, the subscribe, and I'll see you around. Cheers.